In today's episode of Robots vs. Humans, our human dancers are going up against some really stiff competition. Oh my goodness! You guys, look at these robots! They just keep getting better and better. But we have a pretty good team today, so I think they might be able to hang. Let's go ahead and get started and find out. Our first two dancers are going head-to-head in what I like to call the classic robot move, the moonwalk backwards. And the robot is gonna do its best impression of the moonwalk. It's kinda there. And he's doing a pretty good job. There's no sliding around or anything like that. That's more of a computerized version of the moonwalk. Can our human dancer beat this? She's gonna have to put her own spin on things. And she does. She adds a little twirl at the end and bam. That one was pretty close. We got some fancy footwork from both of them there, but I'm gonna have to give it to the human on that one. And the robot's got a little bit of a shocked look on his face. Next up to dance is our robot flossing. Now, this is a tough one because, as a human, when you floss, you have to floss like this. It's not quite as easy as it looks. But dang, that robot just kind of floated right through that floss. I thought he was gonna throw in a couple spins in there. Maybe next time. But yeah.
He's a pretty cool dude.
So I think he'll come back around and try that again later on. Meanwhile, our human has decided to do a little robotic imitation of his own. He's gonna attempt the worm, which is already really hard to do. But then he starts spazzing out a little bit. And yep, he falls right on his face. So that's gonna give the win to our robot, and he's looking pretty pleased with himself. This next round, get ready, because we're about to bring out the big guns breakdancers. You're gonna love their moves. But wait, hold up a second. There's something really interesting you need to hear. Check this out, our little robot here just pulled off something super clever. He had a malfunction. In fact, he had several malfunctions, and our human dancer took advantage of it and did an excellent job using those malfunctions to make some truly original moves. So I've never seen anything like that before,
Where the malfunction was actually part of the dance. That's very clever.
And I gotta hand it to our human here. He brought his A game and he went toe-to-toe with that robot and still came out on top. That was a great one. And now it's time for the floss again. Remember when the robot did the floss last time? Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one to see if the robot decides to do it again. No. Instead, he's just kinda doing the hokey pokey. And it's adorable. But it's not gonna beat our human on this one. And you can tell by the look on his face, he knows it too. Now, our next round is between two robot dancers. And let me tell you, this is probably the most anticipated dance battle of the season. These two robots have been going head-to-head since the very first episode. And every single time, it comes down to who can do the most synchronized dancing. Now, last time they danced together, they both attempted the electric slide, and they were so perfectly synchronized that it was impossible to tell who was doing what. And the audience was left stunned into silence by the sheer perfection of it all. But our robot over here seems to have gotten a little bit of a makeover since we've last seen him, and he is looking slick. But will that affect his ability to stay in sync with his partner? Well, thankfully, they're attempting the sprinkler this time. And the sprinkler is all about individual style, letting loose, and having a good time. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem for either of them. And they're off to a great start. They're kicking it off with a little doozy and a little rock and roll. That was cute. And then they went right into the sprinkler, both of them in perfect sync. At the end, our robot decided to lift up his leg a little bit higher and just hold it there. Just kind of like, hey, look at me. And while it was impressive, it was just enough of a difference to give the win to the robot on the other side. And look at the crowd. Everyone is on their feet. Wow, what a performance that was. Seriously, it totally blew my mind. But it is time for the next round, and our robot is back again, and he is paired up with a brand new partner. So how will he do? Well, thankfully, they're Their dance is pretty simple. It's a little robot shuffle with some arm movements thrown in there. And I think this is a good match for our robot. He's got some pretty good moves, and I think he's gonna do well with this. He's even smiling under that mask. I can tell. Next up, we've got another robot battle. And I am so excited for this. The crowd is going wild. These robots are giving it everything they've got. We're talking flips, we're talking spins, and all the wild moves in between. Oh my goodness! There's so much going on. Like, look at this. And then there are some more flips, and there are some robot heads smashing into each other, and it's just so intense. And then our robot over here tries to do a backflip, and he does unquite get it, and he lands right on his face. Oof. And the other robot takes advantage and busts out some fancy footwork, and bam! That one goes to our robot on the right. And now we're bringing out the big guns. We're gonna do a robot floss challenge. And yes, I know our robot here is wearing a hoodie. Is he trying to stay warm? Is he trying to hide his identity? I don't know. But he is definitely ready to floss, and he's up against some stiff competition. I gotta say, I'm really impressed with how far this robot has come. I mean, when you think about it, from that first awkward attempt at the floss, he's really come a long way. Baby, it's like watching him transform into a dancing pro, right? But it's just not quite good enough to beat this guy. And yeah, this robot is looking pretty pleased with himself. And now our next round is a dance battle between a human and a robot. And the robot is just kind of standing there. Check out our human dancer. They're busting out some seriously cool moves. This robot is just kind of standing there, looking all awkward and stuff, right? And if he doesn't do something fast, this one's gonna go to our human. Out of nowhere, he just started moving, like he was caught up in the music. Whoa. Did I just hear a fart? Like, for real? Did someone just let one rip? That's hilarious. Was that supposed to be a move? I don't know what that was. Our human dancer just totally kicked it up a notch, bringing the energy. Oh my gosh, he's gonna go for the splits, and bam, he does it. That was incredible. And the robot is just standing there like,
I don't know about that one.
It is time for the final round, and we've got two robot dancers facing off, and it is a rematch from earlier in the episode where our robot here went up against his partner and ended up losing. This time, though, things might actually shake out in a totally different way. They're attempting the running man, and it's neck and neck. It is hard to tell who is doing what, and our robot on the left decides to switch it up a little bit and do a little moonwalk. Was that part of the dance? Or was he just like, hey, remember my moonwalk? I can still pull it off. It's kind of hilarious, right? Our robot on the right is definitely not having any of this nonsense. He is gonna bust out some fancy footwork, and he is gonna do a little spinny thing, and he is gonna point at the other robot, and he is like, yeah, that's right. That one was totally for you. And this one, yeah, it's all for me. And then he points at the audience and he's like, yeah, that's right. This one's definitely for you. My friend, you're gonna love this. And now it's time for the results. And I've gotta say, I am so impressed with all of our dancers today. They all did an amazing job. But the winner of today's episode is, drumroll please, our awesome robot on the right. Can you believe it? Absolutely. You got it. That's exactly what I'm talking about. He totally won. Can you believe it? It's just amazing. You've absolutely earned it. So go ahead and take a bow, my friend. Check out the crowd, all buzzing with excitement and energy. It's wild. The crowd is going wild, cheering and clapping like there's no tomorrow. Even the robot on the left is like, yeah, good job, buddy. You totally nailed it. Seriously? That was awesome.
Keep up the great work.
You totally deserved it, honestly.
You've worked so hard, and it's about time you got some recognition. right?
Our human dancers are totally nailing it, and we're all cheering them on. You absolutely nailed it. Seriously, that was fantastic work, and I'm really impressed. You absolutely crushed it. Seriously? I'm so impressed with what you did. Keep it up. Really appreciate you all tuning in. It means a lot, seriously. If you enjoyed this video, smash that thumbs up and subscribe for more fun. You've got to check out these amazing human videos. And if you're curious about the coolest AI robots out there, don't forget to dive into our other awesome content.